Hello and welcome to Talk Solent. It's lovely to see you again. I haven't seen you since, so I hope you had a smashing one, whatever you did. Today, it's always a special day on this programme, but particularly special today because we welcome one of your MPs. Are they, though? Could it be mine? Well, if you live in Eastleigh area, then she is for you. Yes, you voted her in. It's Mims Davies, and she was voted in last May as Member of Parliament. Welcome.
Hello there. Do you know, still when people say that, actually you have to think, yes, they're talking about me. So
yes, we are.
A year nearly. Wow.
Yes, she's come a long way from local radio presenter, reporter and producer to your MP. Very well done. Okay, well, more of that in a minute. We've got the Reverend Alan Clarredge with us. Alan, welcome back. Alan, of course, runs the Rivers for Living Water, and he's pastor down in Poole, and you'll know that he gets medicines and water purifying to people who have no such means in Zimbabwe. Wonderful thing. Chris Ryder is with us, journalist and broadcaster, and he's run a parallel route to Mims, I think, in terms of broadcasting. Haven't you?
Yeah, we have crossed paths, but we've been very close.
Yes, we've got friends in common and places we've worked.
That's right. So we're all hacked together.
This is the first time we know each other.
Yes.
So Mims, I must ask you this, because last May you became an even more important person, and of course people hanging on your every word, expecting you to change their lives. How's it been?
It's been an incredible privilege to become the first female MP for Eastleigh. Fantastic to be the first Conservative in over 20 years. It was Conservative for 40 years with Sir David Price, so I'm his daughter, who told me that I had a lot of work to do taking that mantle. And a wonderful experience representing Eastleigh, lots of work to do and some election promises that I'm already working on, and helping in the constituency, meeting great charities and local groups, so important when it comes to Eastleigh.
Well, you did a good job. You won by 9,000 votes.
It's staggering, really. We thought it might quite close because Connor Burns, the MP now in Bournemouth, was about 400 votes away in 2005, and it felt strong on the doorstep. But bearing in mind, in the by-election, we had to come third. And that was just sort of 18 months beforehand. Obviously, I wasn't the candidate then. So, amazing endorsement, but meant that I had a lot of work to do, and I've been thanking people ever since and working hard for them.
Yeah.
A bit of stability for Eastleigh, because two previous MPs have both been, we say, in the news for various reasons.
Yeah, I'd like to be quiet and well-behaved to 2020, and then people vote in and make the decision and hopefully come back to me.
Yeah, right. I bet you're really glad, gentlemen. Don't you think she's glad she's not MP for Port Talbot today?
Most definitely.
Yes, you've got steel workers, aren't you?
I mean, absolute nightmare situation, really. But I suppose we're all dying to know. You may not know yet. Are we going to get bailed out?
Well, just before coming on air, know that obviously the Welsh Assembly has been recalled and there's a chance that Parliament may have been called. And if you're watching this a second time around, we may be back in Chamber debating this issue. And obviously Anna Sibry, the Business Minister, is working very, very hard to make sure all options are considered, and actually for a community like Talbot, my in-laws and my family from Swansea just down the road, so know it very well. A very, very important place for community. Obviously, Tata Steel sitting on billions of losses. That's not sustainable. But steel industry is affected by tie-ups by the EU, and also cheap Chinese imports. There may be a management buyout. We need to do something because our car industries and all the local community businesses that also feeds into Port Talbot will be affected by this. So let's see the government working really hard with community to get a good outcome.
Because people are saying all over the media and radio and television today, this government saves banks, but it isn't going to save us, us steel workers.
I think one of the problems is it affects tens of thousands of lives and families. It really is a very, very big issue. And I think it could affect people's voting, even in South Wales in the future.
But if you're waiting to the banks, in some ways the government could act because that was the way it could do it themselves. There is EU regulation here, there are tariff issues, there's global issues. You can't just allow in. I think in some ways that would be the easy bit to do, but it doesn't mean the government isn't going to act. So let's hope that we can find a middle ground.
Things here when we're talking about cheap Chinese steel. At the moment it is cheap, but it's starting to be more expensive again. It's actually turning around. And also there is something to be said for having your own steel industry, because what about just as you need aircraft, tanks, God knows what, to defend your country, you're really going to rely on some other country to import it from.
And we actually build a lot of those tanks, aircrafts for countries that can't build their own defences. I know some people are uncomfortable with that itself. That keeps people in jobs, and there are defence jobs easily as well. So, this affects more than Port Talbot, and I think Anna Sibry, the business minister, absolutely got a handle on that. But it's absolutely right. We need to protect this industry. We need to modernise and make sure that we have the right industries going forward. Actually, I don't want a cheap import of Chinese steel in my car when we've got much better quality UK here. We'll see that, and I know we're looking, for example, government-wise at procurement, making sure that we actually do buy British first. That's what we should be doing every single time, and if it has to cost the government more to protect the industry that way, that's a good way of doing it.
The The trouble is, you didn't know this government, nobody saved the coal, did they? Coal industry.
Coal miners, yeah.
Well, more coal mines closed under Labour than under Mrs Thatcher, and many people don't actually realise this. And actually, you know, we're currently looking at our energy industry and looking at modernising that as well. People are actually affected by how we maintain that industry, and the fact that the bills that we pay ourselves. We haven't reinvigorated the nuclear industry before. There are some coal mines coming back on stream, but we are also reliant on import of gas from Russia, etc. And that's a bad place to be as well. So, you know, in some ways, these stories very much interlinked. The cost of energy is also affecting our steel industry.
And what people say, a lot of people would say, does the government actually owe people a living? It's just going to owe people out of work. But don't they employ people in the first place because they need them for an industry? And if they don't, then, you know, it's the way of the world, isn't it?
I mean, that's always the balance. You know, you can't just chuck money at something. Sometimes it needs reforming and changing. And I think there's an understanding of that. And certainly when I heard Anna Soubry speaking, there's an issue here also EU rules. Even if the government did want to chuck money, so it's not that simple. So this is a complicated matter, but these are people's livelihoods. This community is very reliant on this wonderful, magnificent. You've been, I'm sure, driving into Swansea, perhaps to get on a ferry heading over to Ireland. Everybody knows it's a magnificent site and important. There are hundreds of thousands of people whose livelihoods are reliant on that wonderful building, and as part of our history, we need to do something right for this.
Well, not surprisingly, you're very pro your government, as you should be. Otherwise, your chief would be barking at your heels, wouldn't he?
Well, I haven't told him yet by the chief whip, but I do, as much as I try to make sure that I stick to a degree of party, and I do think I've got some of my own head screwed on as well.
But you seem disagreed with Ms Cameron over the EU.
Yes.
I mean, I showed you this before we started, just to make sure Wikipedia had it right. But you are quoted to say that you want the referendum, you need to negotiate to cut with immigration, to cut immigration and make welfare reform an absolute requirement to renegotiation. But we don't get reforms we need. It's best for Britain. I would vote to go.
And I said I Radio 4 at the conference last year, which didn't go down terribly well. I think most people know that I am Eurosceptic, but ultimately we're all, four of us here, and we've all got to vote, and we've all got a decision to make, and my vote's no more important in this election than anyone else's. I would go tomorrow. I think the Prime Minister has got a great deal, given the fact that, you know, where we started from, not much to go on, but for me, it's not enough.
Why would you go?
Because we talked about it earlier, we've got, you know, 300,000 people coming into the country with this ability to move around, and in my constituency in Butley, for example, you can be waiting 8 weeks for your average doctor's appointment. I want to make sure that we have the skilled workers to support the industries that we need, but I want to make sure that we have a say on who comes to work here. I have lots of people saying that they can't get their youngsters into jobs. Now, I don't want to frighten people, but I'm saying I want to give people an opportunity and to fill in gaps where, you know, skills and other abilities are needed. And I think we need to fundamentally renegotiate our discussion with Europe. You voted to come into a single market. You want to have another look at that relationship? So do I.
But I think we discussed it earlier on. One of the problems these days is all the big guns are saying different things. And the normal person like myself, who vote if we feel it's strong enough, or come out or to go in, we need to really know the truth. And how do we know what the truth is these days?
Good question. How do we know the truth?
No.
But we were talking about the impact on our steel industry of globalisation and the EU. We are not insulated by anything in this world now. And actually, we might not know the truth, but no one knows the future. There's no crystal ball. And what I would like to do is be able to control our future as parliamentarian, as someone who's elected to make decisions, be absolutely tested on those. Now, I don't want bureaucrats from Brussels sending out directives affecting small businesses in Eastleigh and not being able to say that doesn't suit us here in the UK. I would like a British Bill of Rights. I don't want to work through. It's a different thing to the EU. People don't always realise that. I would like us to make our own decisions about our rights and responsibilities in this country. That we've been enough to do that ourselves. So I'm not afraid of working with Europe. I just like a different relationship, and I think we could hope if we can.
Why am I slightly surprised to hear an MP being so forthright on this? I've not heard one, have you?
I've never Mims Davies before.
No.
Sorry,
no other one.
You're not here, I'm talking over you. But seriously, it heads round. I mean, I've just heard something very categoric from her. Haven't you, gentlemen?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's really what people want to hear.
I think, and I think a politician, you've got to be true to yourself. You've got to be honest. As I say, my vote, and we can all disagree. You know, by the time I haven't gone to the pub to something else and speaking to someone, you have a different view. Mine's not going to change, but enjoy having your vote, because me, by being a parliamentarian, us getting the majority government has given you a chance to have your say.
Hold the thought. We've got to take a break. We'll earn some money for ourselves, and we'll come back and hear more words of wisdom from Chris and Alan and Mims Davies, of course.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic.
Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it.
My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, or so I thought.
Called Woods for Sure. A week later, I had a lease for a brand new car.
One manufacturer packs an upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to true? No, simply true.
Used car on a costly loan or affordable new list one. You know the choice.
For sure!
Click or call Will for Sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
How Sif broke the curse of the streets. The princess cleaned and cleaned, but horrid shrieks cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif, Power and Shine. Sif managed to lime skill and shrieks. For 100% shriek-free shine, there's always a beautiful ending with Sif, Power and Shine.
Wow, look, it's a live cheetah. She's fast and dangerous. But do you know what's faster? When you download with BT Infinity. It's so fast. Is it safe?
It's perfectly safe. Oh gosh, do something.
Restrict it. It's gonna eat me.
I've got me! Got me!
Can I just stand still?
BT Infinity fibre optic broadband offers fast download speeds than Sky.
So, what's the best thing about knowing that short compressed deodorant does actually last as long as a big hand?
I can use my flatmate pan every week before he'll suspect anything. Yeah, that me. Sorry.
Try compressed and bring the 9 million women who choose in it. Sure, it won't lay down.
At Unilever, we want our brands to help create a bright future. Pestle Solent Multi is concentrated, so it does the same amount of washing, but it's made with less water and uses less packaging, which makes a difference to our planet. Unilever makes the world's most well-known brands, and we work to reduce our environmental impact. Smaller packs are just one of the ways we're helping create a bright future.
Hi there, welcome back. Yeah, we've got Mims Davies, the MP for Eastleigh, with us, and she doesn't sit on the fence about the EU referendum, which I remarked to my other guest, Ryder and now Clarredge, because I thought slightly unusual that most of them seem to be fudging it a bit.
It certainly happens in many cases, doesn't it? Because you don't know what somebody really is, because oftentimes I talk to so many people right in the studio today, we're able to put you on the spot, really.
What I think is, yeah, I agree. What is interesting is someone somewhere in Conservative head office is going to be watching this and they'll hear what you said. Will you actually get a wrap across the knuckles?
No, because this is a free vote, the same as the cabinet ministers have free vote, and we actually will have a break just before the referendum. Everyone can go out and make their noises and, you know, knock on doors about it. So I'm not going to knock on doors about this at all. I'll be in constituency and continue to. I've written to the Prime Minister. I've said, you've got a great deal. My heart's not it. I can't, you know, continue down this road. I do understand the concerns about, you know, what happens next, but I think we'll cope with that. And
Did he write back to you?
not at the moment, but he's still talking to me. I was in the lobbies with him the other day, and we're still talking. But, you know, I'm not on any particular campaign group. And I think there is and believe me, in a tea room and at Westminster, we talk about this and we talk about this a lot. But actually, most of us are talking about the other difficult issues. Well, they are equally as important, but ultimately, you know, the referendum was decided by many more people in Parliament.
But human nature being what it is, we know that somewhere along the line, when the vote's done and gone, there will be ramifications. But people will remember, won't they, who did what. And don't you think you've got a career ahead of you? You know, dating the local presenter, local radio presenter, Ed and Con, you're an MP, and you want to be a minister. You want to make you maybe be Prime Minister. Isn't it going to affect you?
Yeah, but I came into politics as a local councillor, and I went from the first seat and I won it, and I'm delighted to be an MP. I'm the 380th woman ever to be elected to Parliament. So in my mind, get there, be honest and be yourself. If I'm there for another 5 years, if I get another job out of it, great. But that's not actually why I'm there. And I think people like people who, you know, stick to their guns, are honest about what they feel, whether they like it or not.
There's not enough honesty, is there? Do we trust our MPs, gentlemen?
Some.
Precisely.
But when you hear the things that have gone on in every party, you know, we heard about it in South Africa last time I was on the programme, and exactly the same happens here, whereas we hope that would happen again, but it's opened up by the newspapers. It doesn't give you faith. Whereas I was saying earlier on, the old-fashioned MPs were oftentimes in it because of the people. But these days, so many are professionals that they don't give that impression they're there for a job and not. Whereas you're giving that impression now, you're there for the people, which is right. But so many don't.
Similar to local councillor, I mean, you're a local councillor. A lot of them are very keen on helping the people and motives grace-worthy. But quite a few of them are in it for themselves, aren't they? For what they get out of it, the status and the member allowances and so on.
I think being a local councillor is a fantastic grounding for it, because you've got to, you know, make difficult decisions. It's your first step into being, you know, somebody in the public eye, and it's pretty difficult. Yeah, I know some people that have a couple of holidays a year because they, you know, in a long-term local councillor fits in with their lifestyle. But, you know, very often you get found out that's you. In terms of trust, I think there's a lot of people like me, in terms of the 74 New Tape Conservatives. We've got cancer nurses, a woman who ran a scaffolding company. We've got doctors, dentists, teachers who've all come in. There are people that have had a background in politics, but there's a lot of very ordinary people, and I'll count myself as one of those.
You're chairman of the group that represents them, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm chair of the Your Party Women in Parliament group, which
Sounds
is
terrifying.
Yes, it was actually. But what was fantastic is that we managed to put on a fantastic day for International Women's Day, which is really, really important to showcase Parliament and representation. What we do want, we want more people that look like us, sound like us in these positions. If we want people to buy in, really trust our politicians. So have 74 more young girls from across the UK shadowing their MPs, coming to events, going on tours of the Foreign Office and Number 10. We turned it around, so the Women Equality Select Committee, we gave evidence to the girls, and the girls sat in and part of an evidence session, and we showed how you are scrutinised, and they were able to scrutinise us. So, you know, that was a fantastically privileged opportunity, and I had people from Bolton, Pevron, from Eastleigh College who come in who have absolutely loved it. It showed them a way forward in politics perhaps they wouldn't have seen before.
Before we started recording this, we were talking about how often people saw their old MPs. And some people say, well, we saw them once every few months, maybe, you know. The things have changed a lot. And when we've had people like you on the show, newish, particularly female MPs, I'd say, they all made the point they have to be seen, they have to be very visible all the time in the constituency. It's not enough to expect to be voted in on policies of your government. And I hear that from all of you. You're all around a lot, doing a lot.
And there's also the combination of making sure you're busy when you're in Westminster. So this morning I had a meeting with my local coat company who next month is going to be bringing up 50 people from my constituency who are going to be personally showing around Westminster, showing them what I do when I'm not in the constituency. And I think that's really important as well. And that the Parliament is not my Parliament, it's our Parliament. Anyone can come to Parliament. You've got to be elected to become a member, but any stranger can come in. So I'm delighted to be doing that. So I think there's something you should be doing on both sides of that. I was at a fashion show last night, meeting with the Racial Relations Group tomorrow. We've got all sorts of things going on, and they're making sure that reflects when you're back in Parliament. And I was one of the top 20 most active new MPs, so I'm really pleased about that.
Where do you get all your energy from?
She's younger than some of us.
I'm glad so.
Because I think to be a successful woman, you have to be like, look at Hillary Clinton. Where she got her energy from? And she's well into she's 70,
maybe, Chris, if you're a woman, you have to work harder. What do you think?
So anyway.
Having been in PR and been on the media side, maybe you have worked harder and you're kind of scrutinised, so maybe you automatically do that.
But you're a mum, aren't you? I mean, 2 kids. How old are your children?
6 and nearly 11.
How do you find time to be a
what I would say is it's a fantastic job for a woman, because actually they're quite often with me doing events and being part of them. You can't run IBM and take kids to work. Last Sunday, my kids came to work for the day. They were, making phone calls in the office and causing up to chaos, but they're part of it, and they'll be doing the same events across the summer, and I get time off where actually they are part of what I do in the community, and that's really important.
You got train and stuff at Westminster. There must be a week before the kids see you, isn't it?
But no, you travel more and you read stuff or you make your phone calls, and actually, you do commute more and you have to kind of squeeze everything in. But actually, the kids are used to it. Having been a counsellor, very many evenings they didn't see me, 4 nights a week. But then you had a whole weekend where you squeezed it all in. So you just make it work differently. And they're very proud. They're 2 girls and they're proud of mum, up there as 650 people. So this last 5 years, they've been part of it and they're proud of it.
And you don't have even the slightest tinge of thought that maybe you're not giving them back the amount of time you ought to.
Well, they're with the grandparents in Wales for a week this week. They're out on their bikes on Swansea Seafront. They're having a great time. And next week I've got time with them. So I make sure that, when I'm with them, I put anything in them. And you can answer an email, do a phone call in a way previously you could do before.
Talking about kids, here's going to bowl you a fast one, as they say. The Gosport MP, Caroline Dinich, who has come out today in the Portsmouth News, saying she intends to step in the fight to save Sure Start centres in the town. Now, we've talked about Sure Start on this programme so many times, people from all different walks of life, and everybody seems to agree they are an important start for young people.
Yes.
Now, are you going to follow Caroline then and do something about Eastleigh?
I have written about this. I think there's more to do, and I absolutely think that Caroline's doing the right thing. She's looked at her constituency, Gosport, obviously feels that, there's a real need for Sure Start there, just on issues of parenting, on breastfeeding, on support when you have your child. One of the times that can be most lonely, I think, is when you have your second child, because you think you've kind of done it all right the first time, and everyone just kind of leads you to it on the second one, and sometimes that can be the most lonely place to be. In local council, and I've been a local councillor, you have to make difficult decisions sometimes, and it's not easy. We need to make sure we've got that balance right. And if Caroline feels in Gosport it's not right, absolutely important she stands up for her constituents, and bear in mind as well, she is the Minister for Women. So she, she should be standing up as much as anyone.
Can I, as an old accent, you seem to have picked up the politician's trick unknowingly of answering the question without actually answering it, which was, are you doing it?
Well, I haven't had a huge amount of correspondence, but I have had concerns about this. So I'm absolutely going to look at what Caroline's doing and saying, particularly as Minister for Women, and it's down to where the closures are happening. Some areas may be more affected than others.
It must affect you because 54 Sure Start centres in Hampshire, and the plan is to come down to 11. So
and that seems a very drastic reduction. But I think it's an MP has to make sure when you wade in, can you do something about it?
There is a YouTube video of a protest about Sure Start centres in your own constituency.
And perhaps Caroline feels that there's something you can do that, and some of them are led by previous opposition politicians, of course. Absolutely, I think Sure Starts are really important, and Hampshire County Council needs to look at this very heavily. And if it's disproportionate, actually, I need to take that away, similar to Caroline in terms of Gosport, and make sure women are being disproportionately affected.
We've got to take another break, so we'll come back and talk some more about that. We'll probably talk about libraries too, which have been hit so severely and are really getting dependent on volunteers, which is great. But can you run a society dependent on volunteers? It's interesting how much do you spread the load. We'll talk about that too. And also, Eastleigh patients would lose GP practice, so sort of doctors. We'll be back in a minute.
Big entertainment just got bigger with BTTV. Now get big shows, bigger sports, and bigger movies. All for tiny prices.
Rebel, and now end with explains.
I can't do the splits.
It's okay, we'll do it with special effects.
All for tiny prices.
BTTV, bigger shows, bigger sports, bigger movies.
A rare and beautiful tiger, trapped by vicious steel cables, slowly dying. WWF's anti-poaching patrol found her belly alive, with deep wounds from the tightening snare, killed for profit. Another victim of wildlife crime. There are as few as 3,200 tigers left in the wild. By adopting a tiger with WWF, you can help stop their painful and needless deaths. Adoption costs £3 a month, and you'll be supporting our vital work to help protect tigers. We'll send you an exciting adoption pack showing you how essential your help is. There's even a Cully toy tiger. If you know someone who cares about tigers, adoption makes a great gift. Please call 0800 338 0890, Tech Protect 10 to 70099, or visit tigerprotect.com. Adopt a tiger for just £3 a month and help us stop wildlife crime. Thank you.
The best defense is defense. Use everything you have to protect your lives. Join me and strike. Good strike. Download the play now. Free from the App Store.
When it comes to finding one, it's a lot easier when looking in the right place.
Rediscover online dating with elitesingles.co.uk. With BT Mobile, you can UK's best value 4G plan. Starting from just £5 a month if you've got BT broadband at home. Enjoy the combined power of fast 4G and Wi-Fi in more places than any other mobile provider. And peace of mind of increasing cat. You'll get a 12-month contract. You can keep the phone you love. Switch today for just £5 a month. Anyone can beat mobile with 60-month plan. You'll find one that's right for you. Visit bt.com/mobile or 0800 345 7345.
Hello, welcome back. I'm very, very pleased to welcome Mims Davies with me. She's MP for Eastleigh and has been since last May, where she got in with a wonderful majority of 9,000. Very respectable. Clarredge is with us. He does grand things by help people in Zimbabwe, and Ryder, who's a journalist and broadcaster. Now then, Mims, as we've got you here, let's have a go on this business about Eastleigh patients. So if you are in Eastleigh and you are watching this, you could lose a GP practice apparently through shortage of doctors.
Yeah, it's a national shortage of doctors. We've got a combination of retiring GPs, more women part-time working and looking for flexibility, more people wanting to be locums rather than taking on full GP practice. So we've got an issue, but particularly in Botley, I've got doctors who are under a terrible strain. They've got over 3,500 patients each. It's taking around 8 weeks for a routine appointment. They want to move to a good premises because they have got housing coming in which they're uncomfortable with. They haven't got enough space to put in another doctor, even if they could recruit one. And also, they've only really had from 106 money for new chairs, but there's about 300,000 sitting there in 106 money, which could expand the practice. Just this morning, I was talking to the executive member from the county council on it. I've got a meeting with the Secretary of State on it, who's going to be bringing in the NHS on that, and I spoke to the NHS locally in Eastleigh, the CCG about it. They're very concerned, and they're looking at a reconfigure. This is absolutely a perfect storm of Botley, and I'm very concerned about it.
Are you moving slightly, but have you got sympathy with the junior doctors?
Junior doctors? Oh, well, I've met some of those guys and girls, some lovely people in my constituency surgeries a while ago. I do have absolutely sympathy for them because they are caught in a massive argument between BMA and the government. But I also think the level of hours they were continuing being allowed to work, forced to work, wasn't right. 90% of the contract is agreed, and the government is going to send out that contract for those people to have a look at individually. I think it's absolutely right that BMA should stand up to them, but 90% of contract is a good way to go. I work Saturdays, I work weekends. Most people who are doctors do that as well. I think days of Saturday being vastly different, sadly, have gone. I understand both sides on this.
Well, people have sat on this sofa saying, well, we don't understand what it's all about anyway. I'm not sure the public do, really.
Is it a 7-day weekend chess already, or does it need to become one?
because weekends we hear about people doing more at weekends than they do.
Yes.
It's the truth.
Yeah, 11,000 people needlessly die because of the process. Not just the doctors aren't there to support them. And I think these days we expect a 7-day NHS. And what people have said to me is they expect individual NHS. We become very individualised in how we consume our media, how we use our mobile phone, how we work. And actually the NHS has in some ways become no different. And so we've got a problem as a government. We want a cradle-to-grave service. We also want to try and individualise a very big, difficult oil tank to try and turn it around and work it differently to keep people safe, and not put on doctors. But the doctors at the moment are being caught in a big argument, and I'm very sympathetic, and I don't want this to drag on.
Isn't it one of the problems? It was your government, it was the previous government that changed doctor rules. But for example, now I don't live in this area, I don't far away, but a colleague of mine was taken very ill on Sunday. They called a doctor, and the doctor came into the New Forest. He came from Exeter. And he had a long drive from Exeter to the New Forest, and we got to the gentleman who was ill. He said, I've come all this way just to see you, and I've got to go back again. It was a waste of money.
Well, that sounds ridiculously inefficient, and the out-of-hours service that we've had to deal with haven't been good enough.
No.
You know, means that a lot of people then end up in A&E or maybe needlessly in hospital, whereas if they'd seen a doctor before things got so bad, we would be in this situation. I think we also have a responsibility as NHS users, you know, to make sure that we go to the pharmacist, we look after our fitness and our health. There doesn't seem to be any responsibility that we have played to.
I went to my pharmacy this morning for no particular reason. They said, sign that, won't you? I said, what's that then? Oh, they're going to, the government's going to close pharmacies. Are you aware of that?
I know that there's some pharmacy changes, but I'm not aware of the government coming down and shutting individual pharmacies.
Yeah. Well, I signed it. I mean, the only thing you need if you're lacking doctors is good pharmacists who can go so far towards helping
and they can give you flu jabs. I've been there with my children when mother's instinct, I've been Tesco's in Burswood, mother's instinct was, I don't need a doctor, but there's a bit of something here I'm not quite sure about. I think we're just at the end of something. And the pharmacist reassured me I didn't get into that phoning round system. People maybe don't trust 101 as it was, or 11. And, you know, there is a difficulty there. And pharmacists who are so important when it comes to the staff end are under pressure. That is a concern, but that's not something I'm aware of. I can take that one away.
Would you like to come a day and a GP is sitting in Tesco's waiting to see you?
Well, they do.
And can access your records?
They do that in some places, and actually I do and have surgeries out in the community as well, because that's, you know, what Jeremy Hunt said. He wants the NHS to be out in the community, the district nurses, you know, not for you to just feel that the only way to see the NHS is actually in hospital. Because when it comes to diabetes and foot care and things like that, it's really important to be out in the community. And in Eastleigh, we've got one of the highest amputations due to poor diabetic foot care. And these people can then end up in the care system, whereas they just had support at the early part of foot problems. They would be really, absolutely, which diabetes and sugar is such a big issue. But it puts massive impact on not just the NHS, but the care services as well. And that also comes down to our responsibility in families of making sure if someone is affected by diabetes that they're well looked after. And they need to get to see doctors, so an 8-week wait is far too long.
For 2 weeks.
The paradox of all this is that 6 hours GP appointments were missed every month in Southampton, wasting £140,000.
That's terrible.
So we're banging on about not enough doctors. Can't get, you know, you probably know in Portsmouth people, ambulances queuing around. It's terrible, and yet people aren't turning up to the point they could have.
Do you
think part of it's due to the great delays in seeing that people got better and they haven't contacted today? Because my doctor, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and by the time you come around to it, you're feeling better.
But I think there's also quite a lot of people that are sane people that miss it as well. So there's a combination of the two. Absolutely right. The problem about NHS being free at point of consumption is that ultimately then people don't see the impact of 6,000 appointments being missed. Whereas if you were paying, you know, £10.
Exactly, charge people if they miss.
But that's a massive ethos change. Or maybe take a deposit, and if you do need something from the pharmacy, it then goes towards your prescription, and so that you do feel that there's a cost balance there. We also, I totally agree with you, Chris, it's ridiculous that we continually sit and wait for people to pass and find and fail records. Whereas, you know, Cardo can send me an email, tell me when I last bought a washing powder. Yet the NHS doesn't have some kind of tip or ability for you to move around different departments, knowing when you last had tablets, so you don't end up going to the same doctor ordering the same one by mistake, which then is a waste. So we need to revolutionise it.
Would you find people for not keeping their appointments?
If they were persistent, I think we need to look at that, yes, in terms of people having respect for the NHS. I think if there's a persistent booking appointments, not turning up, wasting people's time.
What's persistent? 2, 3?
I don't know, but that's a conversation, you know, we all need to have. Yeah, but that is a big change to people's mindsets.
Well, it is, because the service is free at the point of delivery, and if you turn up, it will be free, and if you don't turn up.
But you'll be a very brave politician, Chris, when you come out with that, because people say they want change with the NHS. We talked about it, and people want a better service. But actually, how you do it, people rein back, and they're not so comfortable with it. I absolutely think we're going to have the NHS that we want and need, the 7 days and the revolution. We've got to start making those tough decisions. I'm one of those politicians who have to go out and make the case for change.
I'll be a big politician, you'll be my shining angel.
Well, I can't see it happening, can you? Not in your life. It's a sacred cow, isn't it? You cannot do anything to upset people because they might not vote for you.
Well, we've seen it with tough decisions we've had to make as a government, some of them easy and some of them not so easy. People say they want change and they're ready for it. We'll see what happens in America, because they really may be some crazy change.
But meanwhile, yes, you are, as government, having some difficulties because, of course, the decisions you make filter down to councils on their spending. Now, libraries is a big thing. I noticed so many papers this morning are dealing with libraries. Huge rise in volunteers.
Yes.
As author said, libraries face the biggest crisis in history. So they've done a survey, and in fact, it's very serious.
About 8,000.
Yeah.
It's interesting because how we consume our media and our books has changed. How work as a community has changed. So actually, some libraries closed, but become community hubs and work differently and do work with volunteers, and it's very successful. And in fact, near my offices, that one of those exactly exists. But the kind of important, borough or county town library, I can't see them going. But I do think we need to look at how we consume new things differently. It's very important through time and the tactileness of books and being read to that we maintain that. But actually how we consume our media and how we consume our culture has changed. So I'm not surprised that it changed. I'm surprised at the level of change, and I'll be worried about that continuing.
Well, we can take a look into some, but we come back to talk about, I think this level of volunteering, which I think is going to increase. It is increasing. It feels that more and more expect of people who aren't having any money for it. And it's that right, Also, the other argument about libraries is we don't need them because we've got the internet. So when we come back in a minute to do, we'll talk about that, all right?
Exciting.
Okay, and yes, I look forward to seeing you back then after this break.
Big entertainment just got bigger. With BTTV, you now get bigger shows, bigger swords, and bigger movies. All for tiny prices.
Rebel. And now the big split.
I can't do the splits.
Okay, do it with special effects.
All for tiny prices.
BTV. Bigger shows, bigger sports, bigger movies.
At Unilever, we want our brands to help create a bright future. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise is made free-range eggs and is on its way to sourcing all its vegetable oils sustainably, which is good news for sandwiches and the planet. Unilever makes some of the world's most well-known brands, and many of our food ingredients are already sustainably sourced. Sustainable sourced oil is just one of the ways we're helping to create a bright future.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic.
Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it. My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, so I thought.
I call Wheels for sure. Eastleigh, Ryder lease for a brand new car.
All manufacturer backed to upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car cost loan or an affordable new leased one. You know the choice.
For sure.
Click or call Wheels for sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
How Sif broke curse of the street. The Princess Dean cleaned Pollard Street's cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif Power and Shine. Sif banished all the limescale and streaks for 100% streak-free shine. There's always a beautiful ending with Sif Power and Shine.
BT Mobile, you can get the UK's best 4G plan. Starting from £5 a month if you've got BT broadband at home. Enjoy the buy power, fast 4G and Wi-Fi in more places than any other mobile provider. And the peace of mind monthly spend apps. You get a 12-month contract, and you keep phone you love. Which to £5 a month. Anyone can get BT Mobile, and with 3 Sony plans, you'll find one right for you. Visit bt.com/mobile or call 0800 345 7345.
Hello, welcome back. It's lovely to have your company here on Talk Solent. We're lucky enough to have Mims Davies MP for Eastleigh with us, and we've got Clarredge and Ryder. So we've just about the world of rights. We've actually reached library now. So the two things that I want to ask you about were, first of all, now they're expecting volunteers to run libraries. And the general feeling, I've heard both sides of this discussed, and their feeling is some people who volunteers mean well but won't know anything about the books, so they may not put them away in the right places. And the other question is, should we use volunteers like this? Should we expect people to volunteer, not paid, to do jobs that were paid for? Mims?
Oh, I thought Chris was going to jump in there. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, if it's the only way to keep a service going, then people perhaps volunteer, don't they? Perhaps I'm like reluctantly at first, but they get used to it, find they can do it, they can create and stylize their own services, and it's either that or you lose it altogether. So really, it's what we call Hobson's choice.
But why should you lose things like libraries? Why should you lose these
Well,
services?
if it's close it or you run it, what's the choice?
Well, you're a wonderful volunteer. What would happen without you volunteering?
People would die.
Well, there you go.
And thousands of people would die.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, 34 years of getting water, fresh water, people in the bush and places.
But that makes you feel good. You're making the world a much better place with spare time.
It makes me feel thrilled to see what happens to people. Of course, it's hard work. But of course, it's always finding volunteers. I've applied volunteer for years, not me. Not one person's been liable or stuck with it.
But if you do meet a good volunteer, most of them are really happy and they really enjoy it and they stay. And there's sort of two things on libraries. We shouldn't rely on volunteers, but where we're limited on service, let's bring people in with their skills in that time. We live longer lives now, so there is a chance of volunteering perhaps change the pace. I noticed with all the research that you've done on me, did you go to the library and pick out reference books, or did you Google it? Because we work differently. Did we go down and get the Who's Who out? No, we go, what's on film tonight? What can we find out about Mims? What can we find out about Chris? So people work differently. So actually how we consume news libraries is more a community-based and important book clubs and socialising as much as anything else. So yes, it's disappointing that, we see libraries closed, but, in my constituency there are, formal libraries and less formal ones, which are more community hub, and in some ways will become more isolated through the internet. Isn't that a good thing?
You see, I think there's something lovely about a set of encyclopedias. But does that make you feel very, very old talking about? I mean, nobody presumably sells sets of encyclopedias anymore.
They don't knock on the door now with
but there's something very rewarding about it that you don't get online, however posh your computer is.
Yeah, the minute you've unloaded it in the van and put it on a bookshelf, it's up to date immediately, isn't it? You could go on to the internet and everything you're looking at is absolutely in date.
History is history, though, isn't it?
It's not just history, is it? It's facts, statistics, and statistics change all the time.
Also, of course, in libraries, you've got just encyclopedias. You've got so many other books. I come from a generation, wartime, we didn't have our own books, so we went to the library. Then we could get them in second-hand books.
And books were the only way of passing information on was the internet. So, of course, libraries were hugely important then.
And many older people, of course, haven't got internet. Got to remember that,
Which the government is very keen to address. But, how do you get rid of the fact that if you reach a certain age, you're frightened to death of these sort of things? Lot of people scared, very scared to
I said in 10 years' time, we won't really have that problem, will you?
I think, my children, my youngest one, swiping is the way forward. So, we're growing up digital natives.
Yes, this is how you do it, Mum.
Yeah, and those people work with grandparents and other people, and most people with their work. Yeah, absolutely, and isn't that a great way to work for us? I heard on radio the other day, something I never thought would come out of my mouth, and it was sent by a 65-year-old, and one of them was, I absolutely love my tablet. I was given it by the grandchildren. I thought, oh no, and they'd fallen in love with it. So don't pull people out just because they have different ways. There you go.
I'm 76.
I think it's done. I've known lots of people up in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s who have a go on one of those, but were frightened to death of computers, didn't go on at all.
I mean, that's fairly innocuous, easy to carry around, and pretty easy to use, absolutely.
Well, interesting.
Well, we ought to perhaps just mention, as we've got you here, Eastleigh, you got a new link road, or hope to have one.
Yes, there's some good news out of the budget. I think everyone, had the budget they think was all complete doom and gloom. But two really great things, or three actually, from my constituency came out. One is Chicken Link Road, the road fund get together with the LEP, the enterprise zone, together with the Borough Council and Hampshire County Council, update the plan, put in, and we're going to have job prosperity and new link coming into we see which is clogged up desperately badly. So it was an election pledge. The Chancellor's really keen to get something across his desk, and let's see the digs out on that. Bypass will be going to the planning stage soon, and we'll hope to have the dig out there 2017, 2018, and that's something that's come through from hard work. And we've got £1 million for the defibrillator fund, which two constituents in Botley as well. Spoke to the Chancellor about a year ago, and another £1 million gone into that for defibrillators in the community that people can apply for through the British Heart Foundation, and also learn about CPR through schools. So that was given as a result of that. And also the Children's A&E in Southampton.
Big one.
Fantastic news for the area.
Do you? Yes. I mean, we have people sitting on the where you're sitting now saying, well, why is there this need? Why can't they just use the adult services?
Well, we've got very stretched and various services here, and actually in Eastleigh you can end up looking towards 3 different hospitals. You can end up in Portsmouth, Southampton, or Winchester. There may be another hospital coming towards Basingstoke. And actually, if you've got a very fragile child, a long journey, and they can actually go downhill very quickly as well, and want to have a safe environment and somewhere that you can go as a parent and be with them. So the Southampton A&E for children is absolutely right. That was said by Steve Bryan, and some of that money is from the LIBOR fund fine. So they have, the Trust has given that out to veteran charities and also match on this A&E, and that was led by Steve Ryan, the Winchester MP, alongside Caroline Dinard and Caroline Niss and myself, and Royston in Southampton. Everyone, Alan Whitehead, all getting together saying this is really important for the South.
You've got 2 million from your government, yes?
Yes.
Where, they still need 2.5 million?
So there is fundraising match funding. Yes, but I think there's a great charity behind that, and I think this will come together, and there's, you know, a lot of work to do. But if it's there, the government match it, and if there's further LIBOR funds, let's, you know, get fighting that down here. And it's certainly, as a group of Hampshire MPs, we've now got an all-party parliamentary group which fights as a pack for Hampshire as a whole, and that's working. I think you can see that in some of the decisions.
So you forget what party you are, what you disagree on, just agree on a few good things.
Yes, absolutely.
What else to agree on?
Well, in terms of devolution, on that kind of need we've got for the area, on the new train franchise, so we've made joint submissions on the train franchises, so making sure that we get the services into the south, but the impact and the effect into Waterloo is balanced out. That also affects with the London Surrey MP to use the same line. It's quite unusual here. We have only one London station that serves us. So if something goes wrong with Waterloo Throat, it's a massive impact on the whole of the county. So we need joint voice on this.
Do you all agree that Southampton and Portsmouth should be joined up?
Well, being Eastleigh and kind of stuck in the middle, no, because I feel that for me, Eastleigh it's better to be part of the whole of Hampshire, where we've got stronger, wider buying power and negotiating power. I'm not sure how they agree on the same football team when it comes to the two cities. If we've got to get a mayor to cover all of our, I'm not sure who's brave enough to take that on. I would like to see a whole of Hampshire devolution, because I think we'll get a deal from the government. It will help us with our train service.
So not for the Solent mayor then?
No, I don't think we need to have a mayor. I don't think that should preclude us from having the devolution. I see a lot of devolution benefiting the north, and we need to find the right argument for Hampshire. We've done a lot of work on it, and I'd like to continue to take that to the end, and if that doesn't work, we'll look at the Solent one. But for me, I prefer, when it comes to care and Hampshire as a whole, I think we'll have a much better deal as a whole of Hampshire than just separating off the small part. When it comes to business rates, we'll miss that larger part of Hampshire as well. Easily get stuck between the Solent LEP and the M3 LEP. I don't want the same to happen in terms of devolution. So for me, let's carry on down the whole Hampshire line, and ultimately we end up with Solent deal, and that's the right deal. It's the right deal, but I don't want to rule that out.
I don't think any of us truly understand what the mayor, what powers the mayor. We're talking about like Boris in London.
Yes, it's accountability.
Would he overrule you?
Well, I hope it might be a she. Well, we're just talking now.
There you are. Would you be a mayor as well as an MP?
Well,
Boris?
there are some people who've actually stood down as MPs to go and stand in Welsh Assembly now, and I think if we get devolution right, mayors, police crime commissioners, anybody who wants to stand as a Welsh MP or an AM, these should all, if you're properly devolving down power and running big budgets, you should be responsible. I think the danger is if we go the other way, that we look like, as a government, we're devolving down power, but giving jobs to boys and girls, then make stepping stones to become an MP, and that's when I think it will go wrong. So I think if you want to be a big fish in your pond locally, and you've got power, and you're going to stand up to that responsibility, great, but I don't want people then leapfrogging into being an MP, because I think that devalues those local roles, and those local roles should be, if they're devolved down right, as important as being an MP, and we should, as a whole, work better together.
Well, that's very good. We've got 30 seconds left. So, gentlemen, are you impressed? We'd be voting for if you lived in Eastleigh.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
You don't have to say.
It's a possibility. I'd read campaign literature carefully. That wouldn't end up in the bin.
And I'd listen to you talking again.
That's hard for it, doesn't she?
She does. Yes.
We look forward to you being a minister or something else, and we'll get you back. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll see you Wednesday. Bye for now.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic.
Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it. My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, although I thought.
I called Alls for sure. A week later, I had a leave for a brand new car.
All manufacturer-backed, upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car and cost loan on affordable new leased one. You know the choice. For sure. Click or call was for sure on 800 044 5806 now. We can help.
So, what's the best thing about knowing that Shaw compressed deodorant does actually last as long as it can?
I can use a flat kind of for weeks before she'll suspect anything. Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Try compressed to join the 9 million women who goes in it. Shaw won't lay down.
How Sif broke the curse of the streaks. The princess cleaned and cleaned, but horrid streaks cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif Power and Shine. Sif banished all the limescale and streaks. For 100% streak-free shine, there's always a beautiful ending with Sif Power and Shine.
At Unilever, we want our brands to help create a bright future. Helm's Real mayonnaise is made with free-range eggs and is on its way to sourcing all its vegetable oils sustainably, which is good news for sandwiches and our planet. Unilever makes some of the world's most well-known brands, and many of our food ingredients are already sustainably sourced. Sustainable sourced oil is just one of the ways we're helping to create a bright future.
I was really worried about Ivor, so I took off to get tested. Actually, I'm just as bad.
Lowering cholesterol is about exercise, a healthy diet, and eating proactive every day.
Really? Can't believe it's such a small change. It's made such a big difference. I really.
Lower your cholesterol with the natural power of Adplant steroids.